Hi. I feel like you guys are here for the birth of me as a YouTuber, which I know sounds crazy, but I just feel like I'm being here in Vancouver kind of on my own while everybody else is working and having these sort of nights when the kids are sleeping where I'm learning how to edit. It's not ever something I thought I would do. I never thought that I would be an editor. I thought that that was Christopher's skill and that I wouldn't have the patience for it. And I started doing it and I really love it. I know I've been making videos for years and I know I've been in stuff with the family and on Twitter and on Instagram. I mean, I do this for sure, but I've never really fully owned it. I've always thought about it being our family thing and our kids thing. I never felt confident enough to put myself out there. Just kind of felt like I was on the periphery. And that's foolish. Like, why not? Glozell is amazing at this. She's always the person that, like, when our family's jumping on stage and doing shows, she's always like, why aren't you doing something? And I think she says that to anybody. Like, she's just such an encouraging, wonderful, wonderful person. She's amazing. And I hope that I can be that for people, and it amazes me when I am that for people, and I'm really excited about this journey. Thank you for joining me on it. Thank you for always being so sweet and supportive and loving. I really want to make a theme song. I kind of always am making theme songs for myself, but like, I want to make it really real. So if you have any lyric suggestions, I'm gonna bust something out. Right now I'm thinking like, Jessica, get to know Jessica. It's pretty good so far, I know. Kayla at Van City, Dallas wants to know what I did on Mother's Day. We had a really cool day. We went up to Grouse Mountain. It's been comfortable California weather, and Grouse Mountain actually has snow, and we went up these gondolas that usually really scare me, but this one wasn't that bad. And at the top of Grouse Mountain, we had beaver tails, which is a very romantic feast for me and Christopher because we used to have a beaver tails in the town we grew up in, and we'd go there on dates when we were dating in high school. And then Christopher took me to David's Teas. Each kid could claim something that I really wanted to purchase for me. Christopher gave them the money for it, but it was a shopping spree, which, I mean, come on. Shopping sprees are like everybody's dream, right? And we went out to a nice dinner. I'm having trouble finding crab because Canada serves everything very seasonally, which I really respect, but they don't have crab right now. And apparently there's a time, I think it was the month before we came, when they have all the crab in the world. It's like crab land, and I missed it. But the dinner was still really lovely. I can't remember the name of the restaurant. We'll have a vlog of that day up next week. We're a little behind, but we are filming, and you could expect them to be coming eventually. They are really fun vlogs. We've been having a great time here. There's so much to do. Maz at Iced Tea Queen wants to know what my favorite store in Canada is so far, and it's a tie between David's Teas and Murchie's. Murchie's is a Vancouver tea store, and it seems like it's a chain, but I can only find them in Vancouver. I was looking to see if they had any in the US. David's Teas seems to be all over the place, and there are a couple of locations in the States as well, and they're very drastically different. Murchie's seems like very old-fashioned British, like it reminds me of Downton Abbey and makes me feel very fancy when I'm in it, and David's Teas is like, it's like my spirit has just come to life in a store, and it's so fun, and they have a lot of different flavors and pretty colors. Murchie's is like rich and flavorful, and the teas are so strong without using a lot, and I really enjoy it. This is from David's Tea, and you see how pretty it is? This is like the color, this and pinks and oranges. Nicole at Aloha Harmony asked, what food are you dying to try someday? A while ago, I pinned on Pinterest a bunch of different s'mores cakes and s'mores brownies. Definitely that always. I generally avoid marshmallows because I don't eat gelatin, and also because I'm like always off sugar or something delicious. I'm like not eating it. And if I were in like my fantasy land of eating food, it would be that and cotton candy. And one time I had maple cotton candy, and it was the best thing I've ever had, and that was like 15 years ago, and if there was any way of having that again, I would just eat it. I don't care about sugar. I'll just eat it all. Iconic Vanessa at Vanessa Barter says that she's considering doing homeschooling soon. Is there any help I can give? The beauty of it is that it's catered to you and your family. So it's really hard for me to say, this is how you should do it, because I don't believe that there's a particular right way, because you're including your own home schedule and your personal lives. Things like what each parent does for work, how many other children are in the home, if you've always planned on homeschooling or if you're pulling your child from school. In our vlog the other day, I showed the kids plotting out a movie that they want to make, and then me encouraging them to write the story first. And I saw in the comments someone saying, "How is that school?" and kind of criticizing it. At first I was kind of upset and defensive. Then I tried to think of it in a not defensive way. I'm kind of in my own personal homeschooling bubble, and for me it's really normal, and I've researched it for years, and it's just like, oh, these are the answers in my head. But most people don't have that. Most people don't know anything about homeschooling, because why would you? It's not most people's normal. So from my perspective, when I can encourage my kids to naturally develop skills, I am being successful. I would much rather hear my kids' goals and dreams and desires and then help them to write out a script than to sit them down in front of a piece of paper that's copywork and say, copy these words to practice your penmanship. When I can get my kids to write out a cohesive plot or tell a story, I'm teaching them sentence structure, I'm teaching them penmanship, I'm teaching them grammar, I'm teaching them writing, I'm teaching them English, I'm teaching them planning, I'm teaching them skills for developing their dreams. Our goal is to develop them for life. So for example, right now we're in Vancouver. The kids have learned about having a passport, traveling to a different country, different currencies, different ways of telling temperature, foreign languages are spoken. They're learning about how to travel, how to be good in a plane, going on adventures and not being intimidated by that. And all of those things, I'm not opening up a textbook to teach them, you know, this is what a different currency is, or this is what the metric system is. We're talking about it, they're experiencing it, they're living it, and I think that's a really valuable way of learning. It's not the only way that they learn, but we have more time and ability to learn in that way, and I think it has so much value. We also go to places like Science World and the aquarium, and we're learning about the places we're in. They also have math books, they also have reading books. Keep in mind, Jacob is in kindergarten and Bailey is in 2nd grade. So the level of learning is going to look different for those ages than for like a 5th grader. They're learning skills that are going to be amazing for when they grow up. And also the person that commented about making a movie and what value it is, I mean, come on, there are people that are filmmakers, and if our kids are led by that passion and they want to learn about filmmaking, then who's to say that that isn't as important than calculus? Because honestly, and still do your learning here, kids, I haven't used anything algebra and above in my life after high school. That's never happened. I'm not saying don't learn it. I'm not saying don't listen to your teachers. I'm not saying that that might not be your career path. But what I am saying is that we can't really say that one thing has more value than another thing if they are career paths, if they don't stop you from becoming a person that you want to be. I'm not perfect. I think it's okay to be a teacher and to not always know the answers, or to even get them wrong, and be willing to see when they're wrong and admit it and look for the right answer. Those are some of my opinions on homeschooling. I'm sure there will be a lot of questions. I'm sure I didn't explain them all perfectly, but I did want to start up the dialogue and not be as scared of it as I have been in the past. I hope that if you do have questions that you can ask them nicely. Thank you so much for joining me on this great experiment that is my life. Please, if you have any ideas for like song lyrics, I'm totally gonna make one, and it's gonna be ridiculous. It won't be set to music, or maybe it will be. I could probably figure out GarageBand, right guys? Jessica, Jessica, learning about Jessica, 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 Jessica. Or like, Jessica, she has lots of babies and teaches them things. Jessica! Please subscribe if you haven't already, and please leave me some comments. I'd love to hear your song lyric ideas or other questions you might have, or your thoughts on Murchie's or David's teas or anything. Bye.